against Virginia State after that. We've got Saturday basketball for you here in another.
Yesterday somebody whacked out my mural. That energy of Mickey moved to Europe. But it's ready up for me, that's for sure. The love and hate definitely.
Welcome back inside of Cape Lorena here at the table. Our post-game coverage of the Broncos' win over ECSU. 1-0 in conference play as they take down the Vikings 75-65. Andrew Chapman alongside Miles Pierre and Luke D'Alessio, head coach, and Miles as well, who contributed big off the bench tonight. 10 points, couple of three-point makes, and 26 minutes in total. Coach, I'll start with you. This Viking team came out in a flurry in the first 6 minutes or so. They opened, 17 points in the first 6 minutes or so. You take a timeout, and then at that point it seemed like you guys really regathered some momentum. You erased the deficit, opened up as big as a 16-point lead at one stage tonight, but had to fight off a little bit of Viking momentum early on. They have a lot of athletes on the floor too.
Yes, they do, and they're a really good rebounding team. They're running some good sets. They play hard. I thought the first half we really did a great job rebounding. The second half it went the other way around. So it's a tough game, conference game. Everybody plays hard. Everybody wants to win. There's a lot of emotion involved, and our biggest thing is we got to make sure we execute on defense and offense, and we just can't get outworked. And I'm happy for the results. We still got to get better. And Miles Pierre played a really good game. And the thing with him is comes off the bench, but he's really a starter for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Miles, you've been able to play any role that's asked of you over the last couple of seasons with this program. Tonight, 26 minutes off the bench, and this year your shooting's been very efficient. You're well north of 40%, and I'm just curious what you did in the offseason to really fine-tune your shot and things you did to get ready for this season.
I stayed in the gym. Yeah. Honestly, it's simple, but it works. I just stayed in the gym, kept working on my shot, stayed with my trainers, and I just kept believing in myself all year, all summer.
How would you self-identify your role with this team and what's asked of you on any given night, whether it's big minutes, whether it's quick spots off the bench? How do you prepare yourself on a nightly basis?
I come in ready to go, ready to play 20 or 30 or 5. Just whatever Coach Luke and the team needs me to do, I'm going to do it. It doesn't matter what it is, rebounding, shooting the ball, passing, or taking charges. It doesn't matter.
Hey, Coach, tonight you guys were able to hold Derrico Williams to just those 3 rebounds in the first half. It's something that CJ talked to us about halftime, which was a success for you guys. Meanwhile, they have the crafty all-conference guard potentially in Tubbs Matthews, multi-level scoring. Yeah. How do you deal with a shifty, fast point guard and also a big man who can really dominate all at the same time?
Well, it's a tough one because he's a local kid. He wants to play well. He's not known as a shooter. He made a 3. I think it was his first 3 he made all year.
Is that right?
So when you're hot, you're hot. You just got to deal with it, and you got to keep trusting, that ball screen action that they had. We changed the way we're going to handle it, but we need to get backside help. And as long as the help is there when the big man dives, we're okay. We were hustling. Unfortunately, we played with too many fouls, especially in the second half. They were in the bonus early in the second half, so I made it kind of tough. And it was good to see Mr. Goodlow get out there today.
Yeah,
it's getting better and better, getting more comfortable. Yep. I can give Simmons a little break, which is nice. And I thought Anthony Loudy, the second half came up big with us on rebounding and stuff. Yeah. But everything we do is a team effort.
Miles, prior to this one, you guys saw that Aiken program again, and boy, they'd be difficult to beat twice. They're a good team. We saw them in this building when you beat them, but it just closed up a really strong schedule for you guys before conference play officially began tonight. How did you think those first 9 games prior to this one got you guys ready for what's to come in the next month and a half?
I think it prepared us mentally and physically because a lot of those teams play very physical and they're up in our space, not letting us run our stuff, not letting us do what we do. So could come back and work on that and be physically tough and ready for the conference play is what we need to do.
What's this week going to be like for you guys, Luke, with the quick off day tomorrow, but then a conference game, and then an off day and then another conference game? This is where the grind really starts before Christmas presents are open.
Yeah,
what are you going to be like?
It's a crazy little bit because, Virginia State didn't play, so they're rested and stuff.
Yeah.
And plus they beat us up there. We'll start watching film at 10:30 in the morning. It'll be all day of fair tomorrow. But, the kids were about to play than practice.
Right.
Simple. There's no question. So we should be, up for the game. And plus we owe Virginia State a little bit because they outplayed us last time. And they have a really good team. So we got to really play well against them.
All right, guys, congratulations on the win tonight, and we'll see you in about 48 hours. Get some sleep. All right, Luke DeLessio, Miles Pierre with us. And thanks so much, guys. We'll have some final thoughts just on the other side of this quick pause before we send you on your way. Commanding a presence down low in the post, coming away with a pair of offensive rebounds on that sequence.
You're trying to stat Pat.
Why not? Just add an extra one to the tally. Fed underneath to Hines. He gets tied up on the block, turns around, and the jumper rolls off. He was doing a pretty good job here early on, just getting contested shots.
Make every shot tough.
Ray over to Pierre on the wing. As Pierre getting his first start of the season in the absence of Terrell Fletcher. Simmons 3 off target. And here comes Big Blue, zipping it up the floor. Romeo Aquino takes too many steps as he started the drive. Aquino, the 6'5" forward, originally from Newburgh, New York. That's the same area of the country as Caleb Simmons. Got to imagine that number 1 for FSU, number 10 for Big Blue may know of each other from their days in the New York prep circuit. Fayetteville State against Virginia State just the other day, the 73-60 defeat to the Trojans. Still averaging over 73 points per game and a little bit too much fire on that pass. It zips out of bounds and it's back with Bluefield State.
I know Coach Luke is not mad at that one, though. It's a dead ball violation.
He just said slow down. That was the 2 loud words coming out of Luke DeLessio's mouth. Slow down. He just wants the Broncos to get set a little bit more, play with some shape. Miles Pierre guarding Aquino closely out on the wing. With the handles, this is Deuce Cooper. Shovel to Hines. He flips it up, hits the heel, and Javon Floyd, a rebound grabber early on, has his third. Simmons scampers up the floor, settles into the corner. Caleb Simmons with a quiet Thursday in the loss against Virginia State. Only had 8 points, first time in a while. Not clearing the 10-point mark. There's Simmons down low on the block. Tough angle, and no whistle. Cooper gets tied up with Ray on the way up, and they won't call it a jump ball.
It's a good defensive possession. Way to get back, because they're definitely going to keep going.
Yeah, I was just going to say the Broncos have done a pretty good job here of keeping pace with Big Blue, trying to push in transition. Getting white shirts back to defend as the inbound heads up top to Aquino. He shot fakes and drives against Floyd, picks up the foul. So Aquino getting ready to go to the line. He's a good-sized athlete, standing at 6'5". Aquino, an 80% free throw shooter on the season as well. He earns his first opportunity at the stripe, and Big Blue will try and put an end to their early scoring drought just over 3 minutes into this one. And the first one a little bit strong for Aquino. Season high 26 points for him last time out against Shaw University. Bluefield State is fresh off a road game against Shaw their last time out. They come in 7-4 overall and 1-1 in conference play. Currently third in the CIAA North Division. And Aquino knocks down the second. Isaiah Ray trying to fight through a little bit of backcourt pressure. Broncos are used to seeing that from Thursday, as Caleb Simmons draws a whistle along the far side. Deuce Cooper trying to plead with the official a bit. I guess it's nothing new compared to what the Trojans brought into this gym on Thursday with some of that backcourt pressure. Fayetteville State is maybe used to it at this point. They were a little bit thrown off by it in the first half on Thursday, forcing some unnecessary turnovers. And now the Broncos have a chance to set their offense coming out of the inbound. Zeke Kennedy, leading scorer against Virginia State. They'll need more out of him again today. Off-ball movement. He swings all the way around, shows for the ball in the wing, toe taps in the paint, finishes.
It's a good move.
Sometimes you can run 25, 30 steps before actually getting the ball. That's from inside the arc. High arcer, a little bit flat. And here comes up the court with Caleb Simmons. Dumps to Kennedy. The pull-up from the elbow knocks it down. The back-to-back buckets from Zeke Kennedy as he gets involved, and timeout upcoming for Devin Hearn and Bluefield State. Well, a 9-1 start for Fayetteville State out of the gates, and they're being led by that guy, Zeke Kennedy. How about his play early on?
His play is great. He's taking shots. He's taking ill-advised shots that they're easy. They're wide open for him.
Right from the elbow, he had the clean look there. That looked like Tyrell Fletcher's territory right there at about 17 feet. But of course,
he might be in his bag a little bit.
Of course, the Broncos without Fletcher today. And Zeke Kennedy helping step up. 3 points for Isaiah Ray, 2 for Kennedy, 4 for Kennedy, that is. Simmons with 2 as well. And Floyd with a couple at this point. Broncos will get to enjoy a little bit of a break after this one before they see out-of-conference USC Buford here at home on January 2nd. Conference play will resume on the road January 4th against Bowie State, but right now Luke DeLessio, he talked about just trying to find guys on Thursday that are coachable, guys that will listen to me, play defense. What's it like generally, Khalil, when Coach Luke is coaching you after a tough loss? You lose a game, you expected to win, you have to bounce back 48 hours later. What's that day in between like usually from a practice standpoint?
Well, from a practice standpoint, usually it's always going to be more detail work. So whatever we lost on, defensive principles, or just playing hard, he's going to emphasize that in the next day of the practice.
Yeah, he maximized the 24 hours. Said yesterday would be a long day, but you get through it and you can sleep on Sunday.
Yes, sir.
So Jordan Hines early on without a bucket. Fayetteville State going to try and keep the conference leading scorer quiet as long as possible. Hines peels off the screen, gets the ball, fires up the 3, misses off the heel, and Zeke Kennedy collects the rebound. Bluefield State able to get back in numbers. Miles Pierre, an effective player off the bench this season for Fayetteville State, one of their most efficient shooters at over 50%. There's Kennedy, quick grab, shoot, got it. And now Zeke has the 3-point ball raining down. Aquino stops and starts, bumps Bronco on the way by. We've got a foul, and it's offensive. The officials blew the whistle, then they looked at each other for about 5 seconds until they determined it was an offensive charge on Aquino, and he's going over there to talk to the far sideline official. Seems like Broncos were getting set. Now Pierre will inbound it with 15-14 to go. First half, Broncos have opened it up with an early run. Simmons off the entry pass, drives, misses with the left. Floyd a couple of stick backs and a foul. And Floyd back to the line. Everything we just heard out of the mouth of Luke DeLessio was stop with the one-hand stuff.
Yes, he hates
talking about trying to go back up strong with 2 hands, back up towards
just anything, one hand, passes, rebounds, putbacks, everything.
Yeah, you have 2 of them for a reason.
Yes, sir.
Here's the trip to the line for Javon Floyd. I can tell you the same thing in baseball, you know, catch with 2 hands. None of the one-hand stuff.
Try to be finesse guy.
Yeah, same principle across all the sports. Now, Javon Floyd, who's a 68% free throw shooter this season, will try for a 50% trip at the stripe. Gets it. A 13-1 start. Not too bad for the Broncos. Anthony Laddie returns to the floor, and Laddie with 9 rebounds on Thursday. He had a season-high 11 points as well on Tuesday against Elizabeth City State. So Anthony Laddie having a really strong start to conference play. He subs in at the center spot and lets Javon Floyd take a quick breather. Ray closely guarding Hines. No look pass out to the wing. The drive and scoop from Cooper, a little strong. And last touch by the Broncos out of bounds. 14-14 on the clock. It will take us to the under 15 timeout.
You should contact the Mackin Group at 910-884-8735. The Mackin Group manages financial planning and accounting practices for businesses with more than
13-1 start, exactly what Luke D'Alessio was hoping to see out of his group, and what Khalil talked about as well during the pregame show there. Just a quick start, dominating the first 5 minutes, and the Broncos have been able to do that. Let's welcome in the third member of our crew. Shemai Cook has some notes about the head-to-head history between Bluefield State, a recent conference edition, and the FSU Broncos. Shemai?
Yeah, since the year 2005, the Broncos' record versus Big Blue is 7-2, and they have a 4-0 record at home. So the odds are in their favor tonight, Chappie.
Well, they've been able to defend their home court very well. The Broncos, a winning program, of course, in the last decade inside of Fayetteville Arena. Bluefield State joined the conference last year. At the time when they joined the CIAA, they were the 13th member of the school. Now 12 basketball programs in 2024. A school that was even previously a member of the CIAA. You go way back to the 1930s, 1932 to 1955. And Bluefield State was a member of the CIAA conference over that stretch. They were part of the United States Collegiate Athletic Conference prior to returning to the CIAA. And now we've got annual meetings once again between Big Blue and the Broncos. That's good dance moves in Fayetteville Arena here today. Good-sized crowd joining us on Saturday, despite some of the students still being on campus. Winter break is upon us, so we'll have to wait until January to see Cheers by Smooth in the building, see the MBX Bronco Band. Once they return, it'll be back to that maximum college basketball atmosphere. So out of the under 15 timeout, Jordan Hines receives the inbound, dishes up high to Cooper. His three-point shot a little bit too strong and tipped out of bounds by Isaiah Ray and the Broncos.
There's more communication for the Broncos.
Defensively, they've been all over their assignments. Larry Howell backing in against smaller Zeke Kennedy and nailing the jumper over top of him. So the first field goal of the day for Bluefield State comes over 5 minutes into this thing. See if they can reestablish some momentum out of the under 15 timeout. They did sub on out of that break Amonte Daniels, the 5'9" running the point guard. He's a redshirt sophomore, originally from Columbia, South Carolina, number 11 in the Navy. He's guarding Kennedy. Kennedy with a couple of field goals, one from beyond the arc. He drives, stumbles, and draws a foul. Just a little bit of a bump as Daniels fouls Kennedy. 11-on-11 crime, and it'll be a 20-second shot clock for Fayetteville State, inbounding underneath the bucket. Kennedy showing off the screen, quick catch and shoot, swirls through. Zeke Kennedy measured from the start today. He's hit all 3 of his shots. Sharp shooter.
That's what happens when you get easy shots to start the game off.
Get your zone right away. Hines still trying to find the measure. And another three-point miss for the conference leading scorer. Hines coming off a 36-point game last time out against Shaw, but nothing so far tonight. And Simmons is rejected. That swat courtesy of Deuce Cooper. Full name Trayvon Cooper II. Teammates call him Deuce. Isaiah Ray subs off and enter on Jaden Bellotti for the first time. The Elizabeth City State transfer, first-year Bronco. And Fayetteville State will hold the possession. 18-second shot clock with 13:15 on the game clock. Pierre inbounds up top to Simmons. Simmons nearly lost it. Now he did. Hines saved it from going out of bounds. FSU turns it over. Cooper dribbles it off his foot and given right back to FSU. Bellotti. Nothing out on the wing. Back up top to Kennedy. Mr. Goodlow jumping up off the bench. He sits down in front of the scorer's table as Bellotti drives baseline. Tried to go up and under. Missed it. Quick move ahead. The lefty scoop left a little short by Howell. And a loose ball saved by Pierre. Kennedy pressed up against the baseline. Able to get it forward. So a little bit of frantic play on both ends. Nobody able to get anything put together in the last sequence. Broncos 6 of 14 shooting to start the day at 43%. Bluefield State is 1 of 11. As Simmons gets downhill, loses it, get tied up with Hines, rolling along the baseline and out of play. Caleb Simmons has been running into a lot of bodies every time he tries to drive low inside of the paint. You can tell there's at least a conscious effort today, Kalu, for Bluefield State to jam the middle a little bit.
Yeah, I would like him to play off two, pass out, and that'll open him up as well.
Subs coming on for the Broncos. Miles Pierre off. Mr. Goodlow on for the first time. Goodlow with a bucket on Thursday against Virginia State. May have to need a couple extra minutes off the bench today without Tyrell Fletcher. And Marcus Elliott also checks on for the first time. Rel Williams
he shot with confidence.
Has returned as well. And big man number 24, Kimar Ben, 6'8" junior, originally from Barbados, has entered on for Big Blue. Showing off his willingness to shoot that mid-range early on. Darius Bobin sits down in front of the scorer's table as Elliott pulls up and overcooked the J. Bellotti. Back over to Elliott. Elliott, the third-year Bronco, coming over from the Chowan program. And out of the fingertips, lost by Goodlow. Broncos turn it over for a fourth time in the half. Here's the sub coming on for Bluefield State, Darius Bobin, the junior, originally from Harlem, New York, a transfer from the Orange County Community College program. First year with Bluefield State, he subs in. Came over from Orange County Community College along with Romeo Aquino. And there's a bucket for Big Blue.
I don't like that pass.
Turnover.
Cross-court pass.
Rel Williams turns it into a drive and a blocking foul.
Back-to-back buckets for him.
Luke DeLessio out in front of the bench doing some active coaching with his guys and talking adamantly with Jaden Bellotti. Obviously not pleased with the pass that resulted in a quick Bluefield State bucket and a trip to the line. Chance at a three-point play here for Rel Williams, a 72% free throw shooter this season.
I think Big Blue should start riding him.
Yeah, he's an athletic player that is a stat stuffer. 12 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists on the season. So does a little bit of everything for Devin Hearn's team. As the pass is a little too high and out of the reach of Anthony Laddie. Luke DeLessio not liking the disorganization right now, and he's going to call the timeout.
30-second timeout.
I think, started to work FSU's way, still shooting 40%, but 6 turnovers in the first 10 minutes of the game. That's just not Bronco basketball. We saw them turn the ball over just 5 times in an entire game on Tuesday against Elizabeth City State. So the 6 turnovers in the first 10 minutes, well above the average of this Bronco team that comes in averaging only about 11 per game. So that's sloppy play that I think will get every coaching member on that bench a little bit tied up.
Absolutely.
Zeke Kennedy leading the way early on for the Broncos with 8 points, 3 of 3 shooting, couple of rebounds and a steal. But meanwhile, you have Rel Williams for Big Blue, leading the way in scoring early on. And Williams, the Monroe Community College transfer, brings it up the floor, drives against Pierre, dumps it behind him, caught in the air, a pass to the outside, airball 3, and right into the chest of Miles Pierre. But Pierre loses it. There's a foul. Alessio wanted the travel on Bluefield State. Instead, Miles Pierre will be assessed his first personal, and off the bench comes some of the Broncos starters. Javon Floyd, Caleb Simmons, and Zeke Kennedy all checked back in. Mr. Goodlow, Laddie, and Elliott are off. And after we saw a relatively quiet Luke D'Alessio in the first 5 minutes of the game, it's been a different story since the under 15 timeout. Bluefield State has found a way to go on a run and force 6 Bronco turnovers, so make it 7 even after Pierre lost that dribble. Couldn't handle it. Tipped out of bounds. Floyd got his finger on it. And still Big Blue possession. Williams pulls up. He had to throw it up with the shot clock expiring. It missed the rim, and violation for Bluefield State. And backcourt pressure, the Broncos have been facing it since Thursday when Virginia State rolled in with the same press. Kennedy tried to squeeze a pass down to Simmons, another turnover.
This is not the game that Fayetteville State wants to get in with Bluefield.
No, so clean in the first 5 minutes, but the turnovers racking up. Isaiah Ray quickly removes the shooting shirt. Jump shot off target from Darius Bobin, the junior from Harlem, New York. Fayetteville State just trying to slow the tempo a little bit and give some shape to their offense as Floyd works at the top of the nail. Now Bellotti. He dumps the pass inside to Simmons, shakes free on the defender, and finally Caleb Simmons finds an angle to the rim. Just a quick spin and knowing what he wants to do immediately once he receives the pass. Hines still trying to get going from straight on, bags a triple. There's Jordan Hines. He knew he'd get going eventually. And Hines ends his 0 for 4 start to the game with a 3-point splash. Simmons tripped up from behind. Caleb went down hard and is grabbing at his left knee. He's got that tape around the kneecaps and drove that right knee directly into the ground after being tripped, and it'll take us to the under 10 timeout. So with 8:44 to go, we will go ahead and step aside for a quick pause with them. Fast commercial break, and then we are right back here inside of Cape with the Broncos leading by 7 over Bluefield State. Saturday Hoops in Fayetteville.
Considering college or wanting to finish your degree? Fayetteville State University is proud to be your smart choice for a high-quality education, nationally ranked degree programs, and an exciting, supportive environment. You will receive an exceptional education at an affordable price. A part of the world-class University of North Carolina system, FSU is an incredible value and a great investment in your future. Visit uncfsu.edu/admissions to arrange a campus tour. We can't wait to meet you.
with Pepsi.
We welcome you back inside of Capel Arena. It's the under 10 timeout. The Broncos have a 7-point lead over Bluefield State, led in 1 point, 16 to 13. But some turnovers, Khalil, have led to some Bluefield State opportunities. 8 turnovers. How do you try and clean it up when the offense has gotten a little bit sloppy at times? Passes have been a little bit erratic. How do you try and slow things down, prevent some of those turnovers going forward?
Well, you're absolutely right, especially with turnovers against Bluefield State, because they will convert them into points very quickly. So I honestly would just slow everybody down, just let everybody know that everything will come to them and they don't have to force anything.
Quickly off the inbound, a feed to Zeke Kennedy. Oh, that rattles out. He was perfect on the day, 3 for 3, 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. First miss of the day, and on the other end, Kennedy commits the shooting foul.
Probably took 2 seconds to get that.
Yeah, Bluefield State just wants to blaze up the floor. Broncos' transition defense has been tested for really 11-plus straight minutes so far today. And the game will stop with the shots at the line for Rel Williams, a 72% free throw shooter on the season, coming off a 9 point, 6 rebound, 8 assist performance. A well-rounded day last time out against Shaw. Rel Williams came over from the Monroe Community College program. Had a season-high 20 against King College earlier this year in November. Miles Pierre getting his first start of the season today in the absence of Tyrell Fletcher. Here's Kennedy sifting through some traffic. He lost his dribble. Turnover created by Deuce Cooper. Up the floor again quickly. Bluefield State counted plus the foul. 3-point opportunity for Darius Bobin.
I like that from Miles Pierre, huddling his team up, telling them to calm down.
Somebody's got to be that vocal leader on the floor at any given stage, and we see Miles stepping up into that role. Second-year Bronco and a starter for the first time today, but a 3-point chance to get this to a 4-point contest. Already a 2-bucket game after Bluefield State trailed by 13 points. That was when it was 11-17 left in the half. Really only 3 minutes has gone by, and Bluefield State has cut this from a 13-point game to a 4-point game. So their best stretch of basketball so far here on the road.
You can never count them out.
And they are the top-scoring offense in the CIAA coming into today, north of 90 points per game. Kennedy drives inside, blind flip shot, and he's fouled. So Zeke will have a chance to shoot free throws. Foul going on Hines.
On the line with 2 shots for the Broncos, number 11, Zeke Kennedy.
So Zeke Kennedy goes to the stripe. Kennedy has been one of the best free throw shooters this season. 90% on the season, topped by only Miles Pierre, who's at another worldly 96%. And a 2-for-2 trip to the stripe for Zeke. Quick catch and shoot. Bluefield State letting it fly today. Miles Pierre gets the batted around rebound and shoves it up the floor to Isaiah Ray. Came back in after the under 10 timeout. Fayetteville State has their original starting 5 back out on the floor. Floyd over to Pierre. They're looking inside, feeds to Kennedy up top. Shoves over to Ray with the shot clock down to 5. Isaiah picks the dribble back up. Pulls up after the twirl, got it. Nearly fell out of bounds, hit the brakes of the baseline, cut back inside, and hit a frantic shot as the timer expired, and there's a travel. Have another look at the Isaiah Ray move.
Shooting with confidence.
Caleb Simmons heads towards the baseline, trying to scan, keeps it in his grasp and tried to muscle it up, no good. Good defense on the interior by Bluefield State. Off-balance pass, shot fake baits the defender, three-pointer off front iron, and the long rebound kept by Big Blue. Another three is around and down. Second chance opportunities. Bluefield State has 5 second chance points with that three-point make. They have a foul before the ball was inbounded. It's going against 12, Bobin. Isaiah Ray getting subbed out. And Marcus Elliott subs back in. Well, that was the 7th team foul as well. So Kennedy, fantastic free throw shooter, will be at the line for a 1-and-1. Two-year player Johnson C. Smith, former freshman of the year. First-year Bronco, who's taken over 100 three-point shots in the first 11 games of the season. That is his territory. He's already got a couple of them in this first half, and a perfect 4-for-4 day at the line as well. Hasn't hit the rim yet. Well, Williams nearly lost his footing. We have a foul, and this will go against Pierre.
That'll be his second.
Second foul on Miles Pierre. Now they are going to call this in the act of shooting. With D'Alessio arguing the case that might have thrown the ball up a little bit late after the initial contact, but Williams making it count at the line. Bluefield State, a team that's shooting right around 72% as a unit from the stripe this year. That's been the strong suit for Fayetteville State. Best free throw shooting team in the conference. And nearly 83%. Elliott over to Simmons, wide open, got it. Caleb Simmons this season has quietly been one of the Broncos' best three-point shooters. You always think about his post play, but when he has a wide open look like that, he hardly ever misses. Broncos had 3 defenders crowding around the rim, and they'll get a foul called on Javon Floyd. For Floyd, that's his second. 17th foul for the Broncos. That's the act of shooting, so 2 shots upcoming here, but 1-and-1's the rest of the way for Bluefield State. Perfect trip to the line for Jalen Bernard. Contact as Zeke Kennedy tried to get open. Simmons goes shoulder to shoulder with Cooper. And Deuce Cooper commits the foul that'll put Simmons to the stripe for a 1-and-1.
Trayvon Cooper, the second. That's his second. Team's 8. To the game for Big Blue, 0, Larry Howard.
Larry Howell, the original starting small forward, he returns. Now the Orangeburg, South Carolina native, so he checks back in. Caleb Simmons staying out there, and Coach Luke Alessio primarily going with his starters in the first half here. He did have those secondary unit guys out there for 2-3 minutes, but that's when Bluefield State went on that big run, so he subbed the starters back in. He does have Marcus Elliott out there with 4 starters, but kind of riding with those top 5, it seems, today, Khalil. Those have been the guys who have been able to
bring the energy.
Bring the energy and prevent those turnovers. The Broncos, ever since the under 10 timeout, have only committed 1. Backing in against Simmons, there's a foul. And getting ready to go to the line is Jalen Bernard.
Media timeout.
So 4:53 to go. We have reached the under 5 timeout. Broncos are out in front by 9 and starting to lengthen things out a little bit more. Their largest advantage when it was 16-3. But trying to close it out with a strong final 5 minutes into halftime. Let's send it over to Shemai Cook. We've seen a lot of those starters out on the floor, including Javon Floyd, and Shemai had an opportunity to talk to the Broncos center prior to today's game. Shemai?
Yeah, Bluefield State leads the CIAA in offensive scoring, and they have a player in Jordan Hines who leads the conference in scoring as well. And before the game, I asked the Broncos' leading shot blocker, Javon Floyd, what ways can FSU stop Big Blue's scoring momentum? And he told me that we need to, quote, execute on all levels and get good looks. And they're doing that right now, Chappie.
Yeah, they have, Shemai. They've been efficient. 9 of 20 for Fayetteville State from the floor at 45%. They don't have a block shot just yet, but they've been doing enough to make life difficult for Jordan Hines. He has just 1 3-point shot that was kind of contested. He's 1 of 5 right now, and it seems like the Broncos are making a conscious effort to try and isolate a star. Go back to your playing time, Khalil, when you guys were watching film. Maybe there's a clear-cut top scorer on the opposite side of things. How did you guys try and focus some of the defense towards them?
Well, honestly, I would say that he has to see bodies, because the scorer, you're not going to completely shut him out, because he's definitely a scorer. He's averaging 25 points per game.
Right.
So you just try to make it tough as possible and have him see bodies.
Yeah, just keep throwing guys at him and make life difficult, knowing that he's probably still going to get 20 on any given night.
Absolutely.
Now the free throw up and good for Jalen Bernard. He's a King University transfer and a 54% free throw shooter on the season. That makes it look easy on this trip. 2 for 2. Substitution coming on. Romeo Aquino, one of the original starters. He returns. The junior transfer from Orange County Community College. Marcus Elliott trying to pivot his dribble. Nice find. He flings it into the front court with Zeke Kennedy. Kennedy leading the way with 12. Elliott gets it into Zeke's hands. Quick bobble. He'll let the cannonball fly, and there it goes. Zeke Kennedy measured from deep today. 15 points to lead all scorers. Hines tries to leave Pierre behind. Shot fake and a hard foul. Aquino dipping the shoulder, and know where Miles Pierre could go once he left his feet. Miles Pierre commits the foul, and it's his third. A little bit of limitation today without Tayro Fletcher, so you need some of those guards to stay out of foul trouble. And Miles Pierre, now with 3, will probably have to hit the bench for the rest of the first half. Isaiah Ray comes back. Aquino drops the first one, and I have to imagine, those guards know that, hey, we got to try and stay out on the floor as much as we can, avoid foul trouble. But sometimes, I guess, just over the span of a game, you just find yourself in certain spots where you have to make a little bit of contact. You said, Coach, I'm trying not to foul. It just so happened.
Bad timing, man.
Marcus Elliott inbounds after the free throw makes. Bluefield State, every time they've fallen behind big, they start to grab a little bit back in the tug of war, and Broncos turn it over at the timeline. While Bluefield State does not give it back, it tipped Marcus Elliott's fingers on the way by. So out of bounds in front of the Bronco bench. Sub coming on with Deuce Cooper returning to the floor. He'll check Deron Traylor off. Eight-point Bronco lead. Here's Howell. Trying to leave Simmons behind. Misses the layup.
Strong
Second
rebound.
Chance for Cooper. No good. Caleb Simmons clears it out of there. Broncos just barely get it across the timeline. Avoid the backcourt violation. Elliott puts it on the deck, pulls up with 5 on the shot clock, misses. Simmons keeps it in his grasp, and a second chance for FSU. Good find. Floyd by himself for the flush.
It's a good find.
Double teams on you, means somebody's open. And what we got? Whistles looking at each other, and it'll be the travel. Bluefield State just getting a little bit oversped there, and now here's Mr. Goodlow jumping up off of the bench. He'll sub in. Caleb Simmons checks off. Another sub in Omonte Daniels returning for Big Blue, with Rel Williams heading towards the seats. Kennedy gets it across. Broncos nearing 50% efficiency today, 11 of 23. As Kennedy steps back, impossible shot, and he makes it happen. Zeke Kennedy hit from all angles tonight. Had nowhere to breathe on this fadeaway shot, drops it in. Woo.
It's a great shot.
It's all the feel thing, right?
Definitely.
The way it comes off the fingertips. Zeke Kennedy putting together one of his best home scoring performances of the season. 16 first-half points as he completes the three-point play. He's already tied his output that led the team on Thursday, 16 against Virginia State. Big Blue hangs on to the possession with 2:21. Aquino drives, scoops off the rim, forces it back up. Floyd skies for the rebound, trying to clear Big Blue out of there. Finds Mr. Goodlow as an outlet. Elliott tied up. He's on the floor. And did they get the timeout in time? They did. Luke D'Alessio calling for the timeout. Marcus Elliott comes up, grabbing it in his right eye. He was swatted up near the face. 2:04 on the clock. Broncos will come together and huddle and set their offense. A reminder that you can follow the Broncos on social media. Make sure you follow on Facebook, Twitter, as well as Instagram, and you can see all the live score updates. If you're not able to come visit, buy a ticket to FSU events, we have you covered on Bronco Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. There are the tags for you. Twitter/X, I guess they call it now. YouTube as well. You can find highlights over there. And FSU_Broncos on the gram. Bluefield State still trying to get their leading scorer, Jordan Hines, involved in this game. 1 of 5, and right now struggling to even put up shots. He's hit the 1 3-pointer, 3 points, 3 steals as well, and the defensive end is where he's been most impactful. Kennedy now with 18 points. As Marcus Elliott works into the front court. Zeke shows up top for it. Pulls a 3. Off target that time. A little bit of a heat check for Kennedy, who's only missed 2 shots now. Hines lost the dribble for a moment, regathers, runner goes, no, offensive foul. Bucket will not count. And it's 3 fouls on Hines. Hines just put the hand on the hip, he was shocked. There's another look at the play. Just a good low, able to extend his hands.
It's a great defensive play.
Yeah, upright, had his feet steady outside the restricted area.
Most guys wouldn't have got up and took that.
To go with the Broncos back out in front by a game-high 13 points, equals their 16-3 advantage they had in the first 5 minutes. It led for the entirety of this one as Isaiah Ray drives, dishes. Kennedy closes in. They got a 3 in the key. A shooting half to forget for Big Blue, just 6 of 26. 2 of those 6 makes from beyond the arc, but Bluefield offense, which Shimai mentioned, #1 in the CIAA in scoring, struggling to get going. Maybe that 3 will help. Larry Howell hits his first triple of the night. Howell now with 5 points, couple of rebounds in this first half. We're under 60 seconds, and a technical foul was just assessed against 12. Darius Bowman. Okay, I thought it might have been on Cooper because the official was right in front of Cooper when he called the tech, but he called it on Bowman down the opposite end of the floor. I mean, Bowman was towards the baseline.
Yeah.
The official in the backcourt called the tech on him. I wonder if he was talking directly with the official. And Devin Hearn asking for an explanation. Zeke Kennedy takes the technical free throws. He's perfect today, remains perfect. 6 of 6, and 1 more here to make it a 20-point first half for Kennedy. I couldn't hear exactly what the official was saying to Coach Hearn, but I did kind of read his lips, and he said flop. So maybe they gave him a tech for a flop on the opposite end to Bobin. Kennedy, Elliott. This is Ray, thought about a 3, dishes back outside, missed a good low, rattles it out. Bodies hit the floor, and Caleb Simmons may come away with a personal here. And on the rebound, Caleb Simmons is assessed as first. And this will result in 2 shots for Bluefield State. 10th team foul for FSU in the half. There's been a lot of whistles, fouls in this first half. 11 team fouls for Bluefield State, 10 for FSU. So it's gotten a little bit rough and mangled at times underneath the hoop with these 2 sides fighting for rebounds. The Broncos have gotten the better of the glass so far. They're +9 in the rebound tally, +1 on the offensive glass as well. And really the key in this back 10 minutes of the first half, Khalil, is is the fact they haven't turned the ball over as much.
Yeah.
They had nearly 8 turnovers in the first 8 minutes of this game. Now they have 11, which is still high by FSU standards, about what they average per game, but they have taken better care of the basketball. Caleb over to Isaiah Ray. About a 7-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Broncos can bring it down to about 10 to 7 seconds. And Marcus Elliott says, forget about that. 3-pointer for Elliott. So shot clock turned off. And under 10 to go as Aquino drives and loses his balance. Another foul. And this one's on Marcus Elliott.
Marcus Elliott has his third.
Luke D'Alessio wondering where it was and talking to Marcus. Marcus saying it wasn't me. There might have just been a little bit of a tripping of ankles.
Yeah, wrong place at the wrong time.
Just tied up along the baseline. You never know what's going to happen, but Aquino will have a chance to pick up the couple of points, and it's just the small details like that. Free throw miss will help the Broncos' cause, but just inside of 10 seconds, halftime expiring, you know a team's frantic for a shot, avoiding putting him at the free throw line. That's the fine tuning. And I know Luke D'Alessio is still trying to figure out with this group. And 0 for 2. All right then. Ball don't lie on a controversial foul as Kennedy flings it up. Did he get it off in time? Doesn't matter.
That's the end of the first half. The score.
Don't think it left the fingertips in time. Zeke Kennedy, though, an impressive shooting performance. 5 of 7 from the floor, 20 points to lead all scorers. And the Broncos take a 13-point advantage into the stoppage. Stick around. We'll have some halftime coverage for you. We'll talk to Bronco assistant coach Anquel McCullum and discuss what worked for the Broncos in half number 1, what's to come in half number 2, and how FSU can get out of here with a win over Big Blue. Thanks for being with us. Andrew Chapman, Khalil Ridges, and Shemai Cook back with you for more second half action following this commercial break on the Broncos Sports Network.
Some billionaire just shot himself into outer space in his own rocket ship. The combustion engine will become irrelevant. Tomorrow looks pretty amazing.
Welcome back to Capel Arena for the start of second half action. Andrew Chapman alongside Khalil Ridges, third member of our crew, Shemai Cook, available with us as well, and we're so glad to have you as we wrap up the home slate in 2024. Broncos will be back in action inside of Capel on January 2nd, but some business to take care of in this one. Khalil, in 20 minutes to do so. They have a 13-point lead thanks to a very efficient first half, 48%, and they made life difficult on Jordan Hines on the opposite side of things as well.
Absolutely. The Broncos are definitely rebounding the ball at a high rate.
Yeah, you got a +10 in the rebound margin as well. In the offensive glass, they won that battle, +1, 7-6 on the offensive glass, and 3 assists, +3 in assists as well as the Broncos moved it around. Zeke Kennedy, boy, he really couldn't miss. Some days as a shooter, you just have those days, right, where everything falls.
It's like you're throwing a rock in the ocean.
Yeah, 22 points for Zeke Kennedy over the first 20 minutes of play, and he is on his way towards a potential season high. Kennedy, the top three-point shooter, averaging just short of 16 per game, so he's well over his season average already. Well, here we go, second half action underway. Bronco original starting 5, the same 5 out there to get things started. Isaiah Ray lowers the shoulder, flips it up, leaves it a bit short, and Bluefield State races forward in quick transition. Hard foul. It'll be of the blocking variety as Caleb Simmons sacrificed the body but picks up his second personal. Keys to this second half, Khalil, one of them has to be, I'd imagine, secure the basketball. 11 turnovers, just a little bit too high for the Broncos standard.
I agree.
They were able to slow things down a bit towards the tail end of that first half, but get back on defense as well. Be ready to transition D because this Bluefield State team has not slowed down all day so far. Larry Howell is at the free throw line where he's a 78% free throw shooter this season. And he knocks down the second.
It's a good trap from Bluefield.
That backcourt press has been giving the Broncos fits. Simmons gets it forward, and Kennedy able to float it up with the left. Even off the Bronco makes, Bluefield wants to go fast. They dash towards the rim. It's knocked out of bounds. Jordan Hines was trying to elevate. Just 5 points so far. 3 points, pardon me. 1 3-point make for the leading scorer in the conference. This is Deuce Cooper. Dribble drive, fed underneath, and a nice turnaround for Larry Howell. Able to pivot and elevate right under the hoop. Bluefield shot just 7-27 in the first half. There's a great and one play on the other end. Javon Floyd has been strong underneath the hoop today. Tough finish. There's another look at this play.
It's the way you have to beat a press.
On the line shooting +1 for the Broncos, number 22, Javon Floyd.
So Floyd goes to the line. 68% free throw shooter on the season. Floyd, the former Golden Bull, coming over from the Johnson C. Smith program along with Zeke Kennedy. And he does complete the three-point play. Rel Williams drives, gets bumped, kicks it out, and the three ball won't fall. Tipped out of bounds, and last touch by the Broncos. Caleb Simmons needs a timeout. Bluefield State press really pinning back the Broncos, and really a wise timeout to take. So Broncos will burn one with 18-15. Feels like that's probably Bluefield State's best plan of action to get back in this game is it starts with the defense, right? Just trying to force some more turnovers. Broncos have been prone to it at times
Start
today.
chaos.
Yeah, when a team's pressing you that much, though, I mean, really, for 20 minutes in the first half, the 2 minutes of this second half, how do those other guards have to situate themselves in the backcourt to ensure you can break through it?
You have to get to an open spot. You can't just hide behind bodies. You have to slide over and get all the way to an open spot and then get the ball and push. Because if everybody's pressing on one end, that means the other end is wide open.
Right.
So as soon as they break the first initial pressure, everything should be easy.
Yeah. The Broncos have been able to get some of those buckets behind the press so far today. Fayetteville State, good rebounding day so far. They're +9 in that department. The paint points today, 16 for the Broncos out of their 47. They've actually been shooting it pretty well from 3, 6 of 10. 3 of those courtesy of Zeke Kennedy, but Caleb Simmons has knocked in a 3, Isaiah Ray as well. And there's a pretty well distribution of scoring. Marcus Elliott hit a 3-point shot, which is good to see. And Mr. Goodlow getting some extended minutes today as well. Laddie and Bellotti were on the floor at one stage in the first half, but I think key today, Broncos without Tyrell Fletcher. I hope to have him back for the January 2nd game. Caleb Simmons gets it through his defender. Missed three-pointer is rebounded by Isaiah Ray. Another triple is true for Zeke Kennedy, his 4th tonight.
Way to find your shooter.
27-point game for Kennedy. It's a new season high with the Broncos. Hines drives and finishes. So just the 2nd bucket for Jordan Hines so far. Ray, lead pass.
That's a good look.
And try to lead Simmons towards the cup. Quick passing. Hines dumps it. Cooper gets rejected. Pierre fighting for the ball. He's on the floor. Gets kicked out of the pile. Turns to a 3. Bluefield State splashdown. Larry Howell. Well, a stop on one end, a 3 on the other. And a short 5-0 run for Bluefield State. They have to keep stringing together a couple of those. Ray too far out in front of Floyd. And Luke D'Alessio not pleased with the result of that sequence. Hines puts it up and shorts it. Devon Floyd clears the rebound out. It's tipped out of bounds by Romeo Aquino.
14. Come on, Isaiah. Stop putting your head down. Put your head down.
Bluefield State going to scale it back a little bit. Floyd backing in. He turns around and misses the short one. Fayetteville State now in a little bit of a scoring drought. They're 1 for their last 5. Howell drives, closes in. Simmons cleans the glass, and here come the Broncos. FSU 3 for their first 6 in the second half. There's a jumper good for Zeke Kennedy. Well, he's carrying the load today. Sometimes you just have to put the weight on the start of your shoulders, and that's the case today with Zeke, on pace for his first 30-point game as a Bronco. Hines dishes over to the wing. Williams over to Cooper for a corner three. You might see Bluefield State three-point volume continue to increase at this point as they try and work their way back with triples. They're 5 for 13 from beyond the arc, so they've been pretty effective. They're up over 35%. Here's Caleb handing off to Kennedy. He'll let it fly and airball it. Kennedy heat checking Bluefield State a little bit. Luke DeLesio's never going to tell Zeke Kennedy not to shoot, right? He's always going to encourage him to let that shot go. And Isaiah Ray not pleased as he works his way towards the seats. Under 15 timeout. And Fayetteville State will have an opportunity to talk things over, being outscored by Bluefield State 12 to 10 in the second half of play. Shemai Cook has all the screens and the live score updates going. Let's go ahead and say hello to him. He's got a score update for us from around the CIAA today. Shemai?
Yes, earlier today, Johnson C. Smith defeated Bowie State at home 60-52, and right now at halftime, Claflin is down to Virginia State 39-27. Chappie?
All right, thanks, Shemai. Yeah, the Broncos will see Bowie State on January 4th. It's the next team that they will play in conference play. They see USC Buford on January 2nd inside of this gym, but Bowie State on the road January 4th. Johnson C. Smith and the Bulldogs squaring off. Lincoln University, the defending CIAA champions, coming into this 2024-25 season. The Broncos will be at Lincoln on January 6th, so that's when you want to circle on your calendar. Lincoln Lions hosting FSU in what is a rematch of last year's CIAA championship game. So coming out of the under 15 timeout, Fayetteville State brings it forward. Bluefield State brings it forward, and in the hands of Rel Williams, it is Larry Howell leading the way in scoring for Big Blue. 12 points, 3 rebounds. Hines fighting for it. And officials trying to determine whether it'll be a jump ball or if Bluefield State got the timeout called in time. It is a jump ball. Devin Hearn was trying to yell timeout in the ear of the official right in front of the bench. Got a bench warning on the officials. Nobody was standing up. I think there was just an assistant coach that was talking to the official a little bit, and they blew the play dead and said, "Take care of the bench for me." Williams kicks out to Cooper, and Cooper knocks down a tray. So three-point shot, good for Cooper, and Bluefield State continues to let it fly from deep. Kennedy. There's a foul that sends Jordan Hines to the line, or Caleb Simmons will shoot free throws here. Hines fouled him. believe that's the 4th on Hines. Yeah, so leading scorer not only has struggled to put up points today, but now he's in some foul trouble that'll force him over to the bench. And Caleb Simmons makes the front end of 2. A perfect trip to the stripe for Caleb Simmons. Now here's Williams, and a foul. Isaiah Ray commits the foul, and just continuing a kind of a rough game with a lot of fouls. 11 team fouls per side in that first half, 2 per side here in the second. Isaiah Ray commits his personal, and here is Aquino with the shot. First is good. Jaden Bellotti and Miles Pierre check back in for FSU. Ray hits the bench. 29 of the Bronco 54 coming from Zeke Kennedy today. And not perfect, but it gets the result for Romeo Aquino. And Broncos hanging on to that 8-point lead. Bluefield State today, Khalil, doing just enough to keep the Broncos playing clean. Any sloppy stretch, and they've been able to find a way right back into it. Trailed by as many as 17.
Never could count Bluefield out.
And playing with a high motor all day long. Matter of who's a little more conditioned at the end of the day as well, as Kennedy tried to go up amongst the bigs, lost it, uncontested other end, and a jam for Larry Howell. And just like that, it's a 6-point game. Yeah, 14 for Howell.
I would like somebody on the Fayetteville State Broncos team.
Pierre, good
shot. Just to settle everybody down.
And we saw Pierre kind of bring the guys together in a huddle, trying to be the vocal leader in the first half. Who can step up now in this spot? You know, a guy like Caleb Simmons, one of your all-conference players, try and be a little vocal. Simmons is up top. He's hit a 3-pointer so far, 1 today. Down low it goes to Floyd. Shoulders in, scores. Floyd has shown that he's the stronger of many down in the post today, taking some tough angles towards the glass. Quick 3 on the other end, too strong. Floyd clears it out. Now an 8-point, 8-rebound performance for Javon Floyd, working towards what would be his first double-double of the season for FSU. Simmons tried to muscle it up. It's stopped by the rim. Williams in a dangerous spot. That's a tough angle to take, and a missed shot by Darius Bobin. A couple of Broncos stops. Now the press is back on for Bluefield. Pierre lobs it forward. Kennedy settles. Kennedy dribbling while Luke DeLessio yells out a couple of commands, goes to the play sheet in the hand. Pierre over to Simmons with 3 on the shot clock, fakes out the defender, off target with the triple. It was a clean look, and the Broncos using the entirety of the shot clock, something they'll want to do a little bit more. Here's Howell, the leading scorer, frees up and lost it. It's out of bounds with a sub coming on. Maybe you can answer the question, Khalil, but Luke DeLessio always has that sheet of paper. Sometimes it's a small sheet of paper. Now it's a full sheet of paper. He looks down to it. He barks out a couple of commands. You can answer the question on everybody's mind. What is on the paper?
It's a lot of plays.
A lot of plays.
Trust me, a lot of plays. In CIAA time, the tournament time comes, it's going to be longer paper than that.
Yeah, I guess it's like a football coach. They've got their play chart in front of them. Luke DeLessio has his folded up piece of printer paper. Cooper drives, and his lane was obstructed. Foul going on 15. Miles Pierre. And now here's Mr. Goodlow. Nope, wasn't Mr. Goodlow's time to come on just yet. He took the shooting shirt off, puts it back on, and it'll be Marcus Elliott subbing in for Pierre instead on the defensive end. I think they might have just... Well, they're actually going to go to the monitor here and check the most recent play. They called it a foul on Miles Pierre.
I think that, yeah, but I think they're trying to figure out who the foul's on.
Yeah, so here's the play that they're going to want to look at. Combination of Miles Pierre and Caleb Simmons coming together, and the foul will actually be on Simmons. Yeah, so they were just waiting to see which player the foul was on. If it was on Pierre, they were going to swap him out foul trouble-wise with Elliott, and in this case, Mr. Goodlow is going to sub in for Caleb Simmons. And Pierre with a 4, yeah, so that's critical. They would have fouled out. And now we have a foul going on 10, Bellotti. Fourth foul. Fourth team foul, that is. For Bellotti, it's his first. And free throws upcoming for Romeo Aquino.
14 to 2 up. 2 up, Miles. 14 to 2 up. Hold that. You missed his leg. That's all you did.
Romeo Aquino, first season with Bluefield State after coming over from the Orange County Community College program. 26 points his last time out against Shaw and averaging just over 15 per game. Second leading scorer on Bluefield State behind Jordan Hines, but he's going to have to be the leading guy now because Hines on the bench with 4 fouls. Bluefield State, unideal to not have your top scorer in a moment like this where you're trying to erase nearly a 10-point deficit in the final 10 minutes. Pierre playing with 4 fouls. Zips a pass inside. What a find. Javon Floyd flushes off the Miles assist. Williams spinning in the lane. Hit from behind, no whistle. Pierre clings it out of there. And up ahead it goes to Mr. Goodlow. Kennedy pulls up from deep. Floyd the offensive rebound. Fresh 20 for the Broncos, and Miles Pierre lets it tick down. Keeping it in his hands, puts it on the deck, fires it up with the right no. Floyd had it for a moment. Bellotti follows. Floyd tips it over to Goodlow, and it's out of bounds, touched by Goodlow. Well, so many opportunities for the Broncos.
Like that, multiple people fighting hard.
Yeah, you can't discount the effort. There's been some serious fighting on the offensive glass. The Broncos are plus 10 in the rebound tally tonight because of effort like that. Fayetteville State were up by 6 earlier. Now they've stretched it to an 11-point lead with 9:27 to play. Hines in foul trouble for Bluefield State 4. We'll see at what point Devin Hearn wants to run the dice, go to him. Miles Pierre actually with just his 3 fouls. 3 fouls. They initially the online scoring assessed that foul on him. It would have been his 4th. Instead it went on Simmons. That's Simmons' 3rd. So Pierre and Simmons playing with the 3. During this under 10 timeout, let's go ahead and touch base with Shimei Cook once again. Talk to us about some of the Broncos stat leaders across the conference coming into this one.
Yeah, Broncos senior guard Caleb Simmons is ranked 3rd in the CIAA in rebounding by averaging 8 rebounds per game. And in the field goal percentage, he is averaging 53% as well. And point guard Tyrell Fletcher is ranked number 4 in assists with averaging four assists per game. Chappie.
All right, thanks, Shimei. Yeah, it's been a big season for Simmons. 19 points, nearly 9 rebounds at 8.8, like you mentioned. And today, an 11-rebound performance for Caleb Simmons. He's just 1 point away from a double-double in what would be his 4th double-double of the season. Assist-wise, they don't have those assists for Tyrell Fletcher available today. Only 8 combined assists as for the team. That's because it's sort of been an isolation show at times with Zeke Kennedy and his 29 points. Rel Williams cashes in the bucket. Now with just over 9 minutes to go, Bluefield State once again cuts it to single digits. Pierre. Kennedy lobs down low. Floyd cut off. Bellotti trails and cleans up the play. Jaden Bellotti in the right place at the right time. Back up by 11 with Aquino. Hard drive and a foul. Goodlow thought he kept his hands up in the air. Instead, Aquino will end up at the stripe. First foul on Goodlow. So 2 shots upcoming for Aquino. He's been busy at the line today, 9 of 12. And he's taken 13 of the 25 free throws for Bluefield State. They've been at the line a ton today, and right around 75% as a team. Meanwhile, another efficient shooting performance for FSU, one of the best, in fact, free throw shooting team in the conference. They are 13 of 14. And Broncos didn't get it across in time. 10-second violation. And finally, that Bluefield State press forces the Broncos' hand and created a couple of turnovers off of that today. FSU's done a better job controlling possessions in the second half, but 13 is well above their game average this season. Catch and shoot 3. Off target. Hines is back in with his 4 fouls.
Get out there!
And he lets it fly, misses off of the heel. And a third opportunity for Bluefield State. Back up top. Williams thought about it. Finds Howell underneath, a miss on the short shot, and an 0 for 3 trip for Bluefield State. This time the Broncos get it across the timeline. Broncos in a little bit of game management mode right now, but would like to stretch the 10-point lead a little further. Pierre fed by Kennedy and converts the bucket. 5 points for Pierre. Zeke Kennedy sharing the rock a little bit despite his 29 points. Hines runs into a block, and good that he did. An offensive foul would have ended his day. And now Hines will go to the line.
I know Bluefield wants these two.
How do you think Hines adapts his game right now with his 4 fouls? Obviously, he wants to go to the bucket, draw a little bit of contact if you have to. But how do you weigh that out right now, knowing that you're a key player, but you have those 4 fouls?
Well, he's a great player, so I'm pretty sure he knows what to do on how to adapt to it. But honestly, I really think he's just going to try to get open shots, try to get himself going.
And try and get some clean looks where he can. Hines is good on the second. Trying to do some damage at the free throw line, slowly chip away, and Fayetteville State leading by 11 as Pierre gets it into Simmons. Hines playing it close as Caleb slowly pushes forward. He's keeping his eyes up on the timer as well, just to make sure he's tracking that 10-second mark, and it's tipped out of bounds.
Timeout taken by Big Blue. 30-second timeout.
Bluefield State wants to use a 30-second timeout and break things down with 7:01 on the clock.
I think he's drawing up a run and jump play right here on the defensive end. I think he's going to trap somebody on probably Zeke Kennedy, honestly.
Yeah, they've just been trying to bottle up the Broncos, pin them in corners, make them receive passes with their back to the defender. And Zeke starting to become a focal point, but here's a look at some of the Broncos' plays so far. That's one of the prettiest passes of the day. Miles Pierre down to Javon Floyd. That's a tight window, and Pierre
very tight window.
I have a feeling we're going to see that one in the pregame highlight reel that our production crew always stitches together before starting lineups are announced. And Miles Pierre thread. Number of Zeke Kennedy, 3-point shots make the reel today. He's 4 of 8 from beyond the arc. So into the backcourt it goes with some space. Miles Pierre receives the feed. It's under 10 seconds on the shot clock coming out of this timeout. Pierre cross-court find. It's Bellotti. Closes in. Gets his defender up in the air, scoops and scores. Nice move by Jaden Bellotti. Keeping that pivot foot down and converting his second bucket of the day. A little bit of a bump. Hines puts it up, had his landing spot vacated. D'Alessio not pleased with that foul from Bellotti. And really, that's what Hines is trying to get the Broncos to do right now. Yeah. Just foul him instead of committing that 5th foul himself. Get to the free throw line. He didn't shoot any free throws in the first half. Fayetteville State just kind of got a hand up, did enough to obstruct his shot. And now starting to pick up some points at the line, but a miss is there. Hines is below 80% at the stripe this year. He's at 79. So not a perfect free throw shooter. It's about perfect from everywhere else on the floor. He's 35% from three-point territory, 53% from the floor. Approaching 6 minutes to go in this one with Fayetteville State keeping distance. They have been outscored in the second half, 26-25 by Bluefield. Bellotti, with the Broncos having made 3 of their last 4 shots. Efficient in key moments. Simmons drives, can't finish. Bellotti tips it loose, gets the offensive rebound. Tied up in the corner. It is Bronco ball. Last touch by Williams. Floyd backing in, nearing a double-double. Misses with the right. And it's rebounded by Big Blue. Amante Daniels running the point. Rel Williams on the other end, picks up some contact. Shooting foul, 2 shots upcoming. It's going on wide 11. Zeke Kennedy is assessed his 3rd. 8th team foul now as well. And Rel Williams will shoot the 31st and 32nd free throws for Bluefield State tonight. Those numbers are really starting to get gaudy.
Yeah.
Definitely the most free throws that the Broncos have allowed in a home game this year. Would have to comb through some of those visiting box scores, but Luke D'Alessio's teams in general usually prevent allowing this many free throws.
Hit down here, we get nothing.
Kennedy pinned in the corner, but a wide open Javon Floyd has a runway to the rim. Football pass turns to a dunk.
Once you break the initial pressure, everything's going to be over.
Touched out of bounds, and the possession still with Big Blue. Cooper loses it, and Floyd comes up with it. Floyd fouled from behind by Cooper. And Bluefield State has not fouled a ton in the second half. That's just their third team foul.
That's his third, team's third.
Pierre out on the wing. Feeds Simmons underneath, and a strong move for Caleb Simmons. Double-double for Caleb, his fourth of the year, 11 points, 12 rebounds.
Good defense.
Pierre over to Kennedy, and the foul going on Floyd.
Number 22, Javon Floyd. That's his third, team
So media timeout with 4:25. Broncos are up 14. We'll go ahead and step aside with them as well. Fayetteville State breaking the press and able to get the dunk down. Stick around. Final 4:25 when we come back to Capel.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Out of the under 5 timeout, just over 4 minutes to go. Rel Williams brings it up the floor, matched up against Pierre. There's a catch and shoot three, and it's dropped through by Aquino. Romeo Aquino, it's Big Blue within 11. Aquino with 13 points today. And that's his first field goal, actually. All 10 of them prior had come from the free throw line. It's out of bounds with 3:57 to play. The feed right to Simmons off the inbound, and to the bucket he goes. 13 points, 12 boards for Caleb. Foul on the other end. Well, you know, it has been a busy night for the officials with the whistle. It's hard for the Broncos not to foul in a way with just how downhill this Bluefield State team gets. I mean, they just go right at you and force you to put a shoulder into them just to slow them down a little bit. I guess the Broncos have had no other choice than to foul. Romeo Aquino. Right back to the line where he has now taken 15 free throws. He's made 10 of them.
Help him out. Run the baseline, bro.
Floyd over to Pierre. Shot clock ticks under 10 for the Broncos. Pierre puts it behind the back, shows off the handles, misses the short jumper. Floyd in a sea of bodies, and right before the shot clock timer sounds,
he just tied his career high in rebounds.
Yeah, Floyd now with 11 with that offensive board. And the 11 rebounds, like you mentioned, Khalil, new career high for Floyd. He had 11 in a game with Johnson C. Smith. And this is the most that he's had in his Fayetteville State career. Missed the free throw shot, however. Larry Howell will sub off, and Jalen Bernard, the Broward County, Florida native, a senior King University transfer, he checks back on. Second season with Bluefield after that transfer from King. Floater off the window.
It's a strong move.
I think we'll see most of these Bluefield State shots coming inside the first 10 seconds of the shot clock the rest of the way. Ball rolling out of bounds, and it was last touched by Cooper. So Zeke Kennedy stays alive. Mr. Goodlow quickly removes the shooting shirt and takes Floyd off of the floor. Goodlow having a nice showing today. Most minutes that he's played in a game this season. 7 minutes, 0 for 1 in the shooting department, but does have a rebound so far. Kennedy pinned in the corner. Broncos unable to break the press, and it was last touched by Bluefield State. Coach Hearn yelling 10-10, officials coming together, and they may turn this over to a 10-second violation. And they will. That's the second 10-second violation the Bluefield State press has been able to force tonight. Need every extra possession they can, trailing by 11 with under 3 to go. Simmons, oh, nice move, picks the pocket of Williams. Bluefield State keeps it. Hines, offensive foul. And that'll be it for Hines tonight. Fifth foul on Hines, and the leading scorer in the CIAA will have just 7 on the road in this one. Well, all things considered, Hines hung around as long as he could until he finally picked up that foul. That's been a big success tonight for the Broncos, limiting number 3. He's a very talented player that's going to have a big say in how Bluefield State does come Baltimore late February.
Absolutely.
Bellotti drives and gets hit hard, a foul. Aquino wanted a jump ball as the two got caught in the air. But not happening, and now Aquino's done as well. So just like that, Bluefield State loses 2. 2 of their starters gone in a flash, and for Aquino, his day finishes with those stats you see there, the 14 points, 11 of them coming from the line. And now Jaden Bellotti will take 2. Another very good day at the line for FSU. 16 of 18 Haven't been too many bad days at the free throw line this season for the Broncos. One of the big accomplishments in the early conference slate for Luke D'Alessio's group. Well, the game clock is ticking right now. The official has to pick up the ball, and the Broncos get it in. Simmons back to Elliott. They're up against the timer. Just do get it across the logo, but then turn it over. Williams says, why not? Let's try it. Banks it in. And it's now a 9-point game. Delay of game warning was just assessed against Bluefield State. I think by throwing away the ball from the official after the make, he tipped it away from the official. Bellotti up the floor, it goes to Goodlow. The last thing that Bluefield wants to do right now is delay the game in any way. Bellotti shuffled his feet and commits the travel. Couldn't handle the bounce pass right away, and it leads to another turnover. A few too many of those today for FSU. That turnover, their 18th of the season, which is probably around a season high. Would have to look through all the numbers, but I know for a fact, at least out of the games we've called here at home, that's the most turnovers in a home game.
Absolutely.
Marcus Elliott, that's his fourth.
And Marcus Elliott, meanwhile, just picked up his fourth foul.
On the line with 2 shots for Big Blue, number 1.
Isaiah Ray has removed the shooting shirt. He's sitting down in front of the scorer's table, gets ready to come on. And Rel Williams is at the line for 2.
Substitution to the game for the Broncos, number 15, Miles Pierre, and number 14.
Javon Floyd with a little bit of foul trouble. He has 4, so Floyd's still off for the moment. Marcus Elliott checks off with, he's still out there, with 4. Bellotti, the one to check off. Miles Pierre and Isaiah Ray are back out there. It's been sort of a quiet stretch for Zeke Kennedy. It looked like he was guaranteed to have a 30-point night earlier, but he's been sitting on 29 for nearly 10 minutes of game time. Pierre tied up, the press still on. Kennedy burns up the near sideline, gets across midcourt. Tries to dribble out of traffic, he does, and Elliott will reset at the logo. Broncos trying to burn some clock with the lead cut to 7, just over a minute to go. Elliott starts his drive, rises, moves, and scores. What a cut by Elliott. Hal trying to score quickly. An instant answer. Just seconds later, Hal responds with a layup. We're into the 70s with 59.7.
1 minute remaining in the ball.
Inbound to Zeke. Pierre in the middle, swings it forward. Ray pulls it out of there. Midcourt press, and there's a foul. So with 48 seconds to go, Bluefield will start to play the foul game. That gets them to 7. So a 1-and-1 upcoming for Pierre. The good news is the Broncos got it into the hand of their best free throw shooter this season. Pierre, another worldly 95.7% at the line coming into tonight. But as you see on the line, the banner stats there, he has not been at the line yet in this one. Perfect on the first. Just another old-fashioned basketball game that comes down to the make your free throws equation.
Yes, sir. Free throws win ball games.
And now the triple, a little bit too strong. Isaiah Ray with the rebound, loose ball on the floor. Marcus Elliott has it in his grasp. Luke D'Alessio trying to call for timeout. And they will call jump ball. It's Bronco possession arrow, so Luke says okay. 35.8 as Ray inbounds to Pierre. Miles had it knocked from behind, pushed it over to Kennedy. Kennedy into the front court. Luke saying to hold it and potentially wait to get fouled, and they knock it loose. Kennedy turns it over all the way to the rim. Cooper lays it in. With 19.9, Bluefield cuts it to 7. Ball got knocked towards the foldable bleachers. The Bluefield, that bucket still hanging around and doing enough to force the issue. Keep the pressure on as the inbound goes to Simmons. How long will it take him to foul? They try and reach in on Caleb, let him go by, dish out to Pierre, and Bluefield stay content to let this one clock out. Well, Fayetteville State had to keep the pedal down all night to keep pace with this big blue squad. And when it's all said and done, the Broncos come out of that press winners 80-73 and complete a winning week at home to go to 8-4 on the year and improve to 2-1 in CIAA play. Boy, the Broncos going to be sweating a little bit going to that locker room after this one. It feels like you've been through a marathon when you're trying to break that press for 40 minutes, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fayetteville State able to get it done tonight with the victory. Bluefield State falls to 7-5. They are now 1-2 in conference play, and we'll talk with Zeke Kennedy coming up in just a moment. Luke DeLessio as well joins us at the table. 29-point showing for Zeke. And the Broncos get to go into the holiday break on a W. Stick around. Post-game coverage coming up at the table next on the Broncos Sports Network.
Back here January 4th, and happy holidays from all of us here at
193 billion in research and still no cure. 3.4 million Americans were displaced by disaster last year. Every 14 seconds, someone is hacked. We've only been as far as our moon into an infinite universe. We could use your help. Fayetteville State University.
Everyone is looking for a role model. Someone who looks like they do, or comes from their place. Someone to make them feel like they belong. We all need inspiration, but belief can only be found within. You don't need a role model to believe. You become one by believing in yourself.
Live on the Broncos Sports Network, Andrew Chapman, head coach Luke DeLessio, and our player of the game tonight, Zeke Kennedy, joining us for another post-game conversation. Zeke with 29 points today, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. Zeke, you were sitting on 29 there for a while. We thought 30 was guaranteed tonight, just one short, huh?
Yeah, man. I knew